There's a part of your phone that's working almost all the time, even when you're not touching it. It's sitting right at the top of your screen, hidden inside the notch or the dynamic island. And it's not the camera you use for selfies. This system can tell when you're looking at your phone, recognize your face in complete darkness, and adjust how your screen behaves without you doing anything at all. Most people know it exists because Face ID works. Very few people know how it works, or what it's actually seeing. Because this isn't a normal camera, it uses a type of light your eyes can't see. Today, we're going to break down the technology behind Face ID, what information it captures, and answer the question people always ask once they learn about it. Should you be worried? And before we dive in, if you like deep dives into the hidden tech inside everyday devices, consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Alright, let's start with why Apple moved away from passcodes in the first place. For a long time, unlocking your phone was simple. You typed in a passcode and that was it. The problem was security. If someone knew your code, they had full access to everything on your phone. And 4-digit passcodes were never very hard to guess. Apple's first big improvement came with Touch ID, which used your fingerprint instead of a code. It was faster and more secure, but it still had limits. Wet fingers, gloves, and physical buttons all created friction. Face ID solved multiple problems at once. It removed the need for a fingerprint sensor, made unlocking effortless, and significantly increased security. More importantly, it allowed your phone to recognize you automatically, without you having to think about it at all. To make Face ID possible, Apple had to build an entirely new camera system. They call it the TrueDepth camera, and it lives at the top of your phone. Over the years, it's gotten smaller, moving, from the original notch to the dynamic island, but the way it works hasn't really changed. This isn't just a single camera. It's a group of sensors working together, each with a specific job. Some measure light, some measure distance. Others capture images in ways our eyes never could. Individually, none of these parts are that impressive. But when they work together, they allow your phone to understand the shape of your face in 3 dimensions, quickly, accurately, and in almost any lighting condition. If you look at the TrueDepth system piece by piece, most of it isn't mysterious at all. There's an ambient light sensor that adjusts your screen brightness based on your surroundings. There's a proximity sensor that turns the display off when you hold the phone to your ear. Those features existed long before Face ID. The real difference comes from the cameras. Your normal front-facing camera captures visible light, just like your eyes do. But next to it is another camera designed for something completely different. It only sees infrared light, a type of light humans can't see. Keeping these cameras separate makes the system more accurate. It's much easier to block unwanted light than to remove it after an image is captured. Even though we can't see infrared light with our eyes, it doesn't mean it's completely invisible. Most phone cameras are designed to block infrared light because it would mess up normal photos. But those filters aren't perfect. Strong infrared light can still slip through. That means if you look at your phone through another camera, like a security camera or even some older smartphones, you can actually see the infrared system turn on. When Face ID activates, tiny points of infrared light briefly appear across your face. They're always there when the system is working. You just normally have no way of seeing them. And once you see it, it's hard to unsee. When Face ID turns on, your phone isn't taking a normal picture of you. Instead, it projects thousands of tiny infrared dots onto your face. If you're in a dark room, an infrared floodlight turns on to make sure there's enough detail. Because your face isn't flat, those dots bounce back in slightly different ways depending on your facial features, your nose, eyes, cheeks, and jaw. An infrared camera captures how that dot pattern is distorted. Your phone's processor already knows what the original pattern looks like. By comparing the two, it creates a precise 3D representation of your face. That 3D data is then compared to the version stored on your device. If they match, your phone unlocks, all in a fraction of a second. A lot of people assume Face ID uses LiDAR, but that's not actually the case. LiDAR works by sending out pulses of infrared light and measuring how long they take to bounce back. That method, called time of flight, is great for measuring distance across rooms or scanning environments. Face ID uses a different approach called structured light. Instead of timing light pulses, it looks at how a known pattern of dots gets distorted when it hits your face. This method is much more precise at close range, which makes it ideal for detailed facial mapping. The trade-off is distance. Structured light only works well when your face is relatively close to the phone. That's why Apple uses structured light on the front and LiDAR on the back. Face ID isn't only used when you unlock your phone. The same system is constantly helping your phone understand what you're doing. It knows when you're looking at the screen, which is why notifications expand only for you and why your display stays on while you're reading. It's also what powers features like Animoji, Memoji, and more realistic face filters in apps. Instead of guessing where your face is, apps can use real-depth data to place effects accurately. This is why your phone can react to your attention without you touching anything. The infrared system is quietly working in the background, checking for your presence and adjusting behavior in real time. Most of the time, this system works so smoothly that you never notice it. But when it doesn't, the effects can be very noticeable. In 2024, a lot of people started reporting the same strange issue. Their iPhone alarms weren't going off properly. Some overslept, others missed work or school. The cause turned out to be an attention-aware feature. If your phone thought you were looking at it when the alarm went off, it would automatically lower the volume, assuming you were already awake. It wasn't a security problem, but it revealed just how much your phone is constantly interpreting your behavior, sometimes a little too confidently. So, with all of this happening, the big question is Face ID actually safe? The most important thing to know is that your face data never leaves your phone. The 3D map created by Face ID is stored securely in the device's hardware, not in the cloud and not on Apple's servers. Even Apple can't access it. That means if someone hacks Apple, they don't get your face. The main weakness isn't hacking, it's lookalikes. Identical twins or siblings who look very similar can sometimes unlock the same phone. And Face ID is less reliable for younger kids whose faces are still changing. So if you take one thing away from this video, it's this. Face ID is extremely secure. Just maybe don't hand your phone to someone who looks exactly like you. So the next time your phone unlocks itself, dims the screen, or knows you're still looking at it, you'll know what's really happening behind the glass. A system you can't see, using light you can't see, quietly mapping your face in real time. If you found this breakdown interesting, let me know. And I'd really like your input. What should we dive into next? Is there a piece of tech you use every day that you've always been curious about? A feature you don't fully trust? Or something you want explained from the ground up? Drop your ideas in the comments. I read them, and there's a good chance your suggestion could turn into the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.